Coming up on this episode of the Upper One podcast, the boys are back together trying to shake the rust off. They talk a little sports, Sitka black-tailed deer, somebody's getting stabbed, Scott's second season in the Eagle River Hockey League, and also why Trustworthy is being made orange again. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
And now, podcasting from the great state of Alaska, this is the Upper One Podcast with your hosts, Scott, Eric, and Tim.
Guys, we are back. Eric's across from me. Tim's on my left. Thanks for getting here.
Hey, it's good to be back.
It's been a long time. 11 weeks is a long time. Tim, what you got going on?
Well, honestly, not a whole lot.
Well, as you guys know,
Don't get too thrilled there.
it's been 11 weeks because the last episode we did that was published was August 20th. The Elvis Monroe episode. It's been 11 weeks. I think as of today, it's been 11 weeks. I did solo an episode this last Tuesday. Kind of was getting a little antsy, so I apologize to you guys for not including you, but you guys couldn't make it out to Eagle River.
Quite all right.
That's why we decided to come back this week.
So, anyways, we've had a lot going on. We, as of the summer, we decided we were going to do it every other week. But this last 11 weeks, we've had some ups and downs. We've had, some stuff going on. I've had a solo project at home that I kind of finished myself. So, there's a lot to talk about, a lot to catch up on. We haven't really been together much, just maybe a couple times in the last 11 weeks. So, we've all got some stuff to catch up on.
Yeah. Like I said, Tim and I had to take a little time off. We suffered a loss in the family, and so we've been getting our feet back up under ourselves.
No, you guys, I treat you guys like my family, so it was my loss also, and I understand that you guys requested to, be able to spend the final time with our family member, and that's what happened. So, but the bottom line is we're back together. Hopefully, shaking the rust off. So, as I mentioned, our last episode was Elvis Monroe when Ben and Brian were here. I do want to point out that they are getting back to playing music too.
Yep, that was a great show. I enjoyed being able to talk with Ben and Brian.
Just to let everybody know that is listening to us and may or may not be following Elvis Monroe. On November 11th, Veterans Day, they are doing a virtual show on Facebook. If you go to their Facebook page, there should be one of them, Facebook, they go live, and there's going to be a live Elvis Monroe show. They're actually doing it at the Craig Ranch Park Amphitheater in Las Vegas, but it's going to be broadcast live on Facebook for everybody to watch free, starting at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you don't know the time zones, you better figure it out if you're going to watch them.
That's 5:30 for us, right?
I believe it is 5:30 Alaska time, yes. And November 11th is a Wednesday.
Yep.
Yes.
So just for you guys to know, Ben and Brian, you guys are awesome. Kick ass on this show, buddies. So
I will be watching.
What else is going on? Should we talk about our mayor that's no longer our mayor?
We don't get
Is that
political.
I'm not
political.
This isn't political talk. I'm just saying, we had some stuff go down.
Let's just say
that we don't have a mayor
Anchorage is
anymore.
Looking for a mayor. We can just leave it there.
We have a
I will
interim mayor right now.
If you want to know my opinion,
Oh Lord.
the first time I ever saw that news anchor, I was like, WTH. What? It's She's an attractive woman, but I just felt that
There's a lot going on.
there was something going on there,
Yeah.
and
High maintenance.
seen her in person. She's not a whole lot about the same height as the mayor was.
Well, the bottom line
We'll
is,
just leave it at at that.
this is not a political discussion, but the bottom line is there was some controversy. Our mayor stepped down. We have an interim mayor, and
Let's just say it. It made national news.
it did make national news.
Because my daughter in Florida sent me a message that said, "What the hell's going on there?"
So that's some of the big stories here. As we all know, what just happened November 3rd. Like I said, no political discussion, but we are where we are with that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that of all the chairs in my house, the edge is worn off.
So we've also got a few other things happening. There's this little team down there in the bay on the Gulf side of Florida that kind of brought home a big silver cup.
Yes. The Tampa Bay Lightning, baby.
And the team just a little bit to the west of their arena plays in the baseball field. They had a chance to bring another championship home.
We played well. We did. We gave it a good fight, but the one I want to talk about right now that's real exciting, the one that has go ahead, give your sound bite, the GOAT. You don't have your GOAT
Actually,
sound?
you know,
I can edit it in.
I know
even
you
though the
will.
baseball team didn't
Fair as well.
fare as well, they had in the shortened season, I would say that the World Series actually had the two best teams
They
playing
did.
Yeah.
because the Dodgers won.
They were down 3-1 to Atlanta.
They were. The
And
Dodgers
they came back and won 3 straight
won,
games. Yep.
and they won more games than any team.
Yeah, I think L.A. was number 1 and Tampa was number 2
That's
in
right.
all of the baseball.
And even though they had a shortened season, which, again, in my opinion, I think the baseball season's a little too long with 162 games.
Yep.
But it's my opinion, so baseball fans don't fault me for that.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Right.
We love the game. I love the game of baseball.
Actually, I love watching baseball live better than on TV because you can see, if you're live in the stadium at baseball, you can see what everybody on the field is doing. And the cameras don't capture that.
Yeah, the camera. You got the wide angle. That's where I was going to go with this, is because we talked about it. Eric and I, we coached those 2 years in Little League.
Every player has got a position or a move they need to make on every play.
Yes.
And you don't get to see that on TV.
So, going back to our last year coaching Little League together, coaching the minor or the majors. I mean, granted, we did a little bit of dabbling up in juniors, but our full season as coaches, we were the Rays at Diamond West Little League. So 2014 comes along. I've got a Tampa Bay Rays jersey. Well, guess what? I get to go see my first baseball game with my dad in Tampa. And so that was amazing. I'm gonna be. I'm not. They're not gonna be my favorite team because I'm a Cardinals fan. But I will be. I will be a Rays fan forever. But it was fun. It's a lot of fun seeing baseball, and especially to have your dad there. That was awesome. And I was rooting for him. I hope they brought that pennant home to Tampa, because then you already know where Eric's head was going to be.
Well, I can associate with that a little bit. I used to go to the baseball games with my grandfather when I was a kid. Yeah. And, I mean, I used to go watch the New York Yankees play when they had Thurman Munson and Bucky Dent and Greg Nettles and all the greats, Reggie Jackson.
Yep.
But I'm not a Yankees fan. Of the New York teams, I like the Mets.
Yep, exactly. You got your favorite teams, but at the same time, there's good players you like to watch.
Yeah. I like to watch good baseball.
Here. But when I was a kid playing Little League, they used to do spring training they still do, in Florida and in Arizona.
Yep, the pineapple
Florida-
and the cactus leagues.
Well, the Florida League is called the Grapefruit League, but
Oh yeah,
They-
maybe okay. They got great food.
but
That's right. Getting it mixed
we
up.
went, the Mets and the Cardinals both trained in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Nice.
And we went to a spring training game where the Mets and the Cardinals played, and it was 1969. And it was the year that the Mets won the World
Oh,
Series.
the amazing
The
Mets.
Miracle
The
Mets.
amazing
The
Mets.
amazing Mets.
And
I
as
thought it was the Miracle, or no, Amazing Mets. It was the Miracle hockey team,
Yep,
right?
there you go.
There we go.
I was only 8 during that time. But there was a guy on the Mets that hit a grand slam. And then they went and they won the World Series that year, but it was
That's
they had
cool.
Nolan Ryan, they had Tom Seaver, they had all those players. I got to see those guys play as an 8-year-old. I didn't really realize what it was.
Yeah. Yep.
We didn't have a team in Florida. It was, you rooted for some of those teams that came down there, because Florida has a lot of people that moved from the north, and most of them,
Snowflakes.
they call them
Snowbirds.
snowbirds. But
We're not getting into that discussion.
okay, so anyway, but
Yeah.
you know, if I'd have been a little bit older, I probably would have made more of a connection with it. But I do remember some of the names of the guys that played, and I remember, gosh, I remember getting all the baseball cards and just putting them in the spokes
In a
of my
shoebox.
bicycle.
No,
Oh
just
yeah.
to make it.
That's right.
Yeah,
Make it sound like a motor. Yep.
that's right. So, but
Well, it's just stuff like that
Yep.
that's we got going on today that we appreciate because of what we grew up and I didn't get to do all that stuff when I was young because this or that, but another thing that's back on is we got football going on.
Yeah, I didn't think you want to talk about it, even though I brought up the goat.
I gotta
I didn't know
say,
if you was. I figured you pushed that subject to the side
Well,
for a reason.
no, I didn't push it to the side. I'm not watching it religiously, for this or that, and I got my own opinions on reasons, but
2-6,
stuff we don't talk about on this podcast. But
2-6.
yes, they are 2-6. But I kind of remember years when the Creamsicles didn't win a game.
Hey, I can relate.
anyways,
I'm just glad to see the shoes going to the other foot for a little while.
Yeah,
I've spent my years in the trenches.
And
I I heard something the other day that related to the Bucks. That was their winning percentage is still the worst in the league.
there you go. But no, I just get
That's
back
why
to it.
there's that thing, win now.
Yeah.
Win now.
But
And that's what they're doing.
I have been a Buccaneer fan ever since they started, because it was a home team
Yep.
that you could root for, and they've had good seasons, they've had really bad seasons, they've had mediocre seasons,
They've had really, really bad seasons.
but they have won a Super Bowl, which is more than you can say about Minnesota or
Detroit.
Ouch.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. Well, like I said,
And we've only been around since 76.
it wasn't that I was avoiding talking about it, because I'm not watching football. Part of it was I was building my shed alone, and I couldn't.
Did you feel that stab there?
No, that was a stab at you, not at
No,
me. That was
couldn't,
more at
But
you.
I was just
couldn't-
wondering if you picked that up.
I couldn't.
too.
I couldn't just sit there and watch, even though I have the AT&T TV on my phone. I did put it on the speaker and I listened to it while I was hanging over this or that, trying to nail in a wall or something. But like I said, I was doing that alone, so I can't really watch a whole lot of football while you're trying to build a shed. So bottom line is I'm very disappointed. I had really high hopes for Mike McCarthy coming in. We've had a few injuries. The big one, Dak, kind of rolled his ankle, and I don't know what's broke or what's not because I haven't even looked into it. So I don't have a care. What I do care about is another sport, but if you guys want to talk about the rest of Gronk and
I don't really want to talk about Gronk
okay,
or anything
okay.
like
Well,
that.
then let's move on to the other sport.
No,
But how about that goat?
I'll just say that
Well, I got a comment about
With
that.
you.
Go ahead.
I do not sit and just watch whatever's on. I can't sit and waste 10 hours of my Sunday
Just watching all football.
watching football for teams that I really don't
Give a crap about. Yep.
give that a crap about. Now, if I can see the Buccaneers play because I'm a fan, I'll sit and watch it. But it's on. That doesn't mean I'm sitting and watching every play.
Exactly. You listen in the back of your mind.
And you call
can hear.
yourself a fan.
So what I
I
was
don't
going to
yell and scream. I don't yell at the referees, mainly because I'm sitting in my family room watching it on my TV, and no matter how loud I yell,
It's not going to change a thing.
they can't hear me.
Yep.
I'm
Well,
sure.
they need to hear me.
Eric thinks they do.
need
Eric
to
thinks
hear
they do.
me.
All the
I'm
way.
sure that there are people that, Eric included, sit in their
Oh.
living rooms and yell, thinking that it's going to make a difference of what that call was on the field.
He's
but
trying to get them to hear him all the way down in Florida
Yeah,
from Alaska.
yeah.
Hey,
So he thinks they
it's
hear him.
the power of the mental thing, it's trying to send that vibe down there to get it right.
So who was it they played last? I think it was the Giants. Did they
played
play
the Giants.
Okay,
Hey,
so
hey,
I
whoa,
sent
whoa, whoa,
I
whoa,
sent
whoa,
Eric
whoa.
a text in the middle of the game. They won the game.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, they won the game barely. But I sent him a text and the dang autocorrect screwed it up. But it was that one where Brady came off the field and he started slamming his helmet and then he turned around, sat down and he slammed it.
Yep.
And I said, "Slam your helmet." I told him, I said, "Brady needs to take something off. It's like he's putting too much mustard on the ball, trying to get him to. Mike Evans should be catching those balls, and he's putting too much on."
I tell you what,
if you're a professional receiver in the NFL and it hits you in the hands, you better catch
Yeah,
it.
exactly. I've had that opinion.
I agree.
Right.
But at the same time, it was like I was telling my guys all day. You can't just count the Giants out. The Giants ain't been getting blown out.
No.
They haven't been getting blown out. They have been close in games. They are
What guys
not
were you
a
telling?
bad team.
And for the record,
They are not a bad team.
Since you're dogging on my Cowboys, for the record, if the Cowboys win another game, it's going to be the Giants the rest of the season, which is the last game of the season this year. I'm already putting that out there.
Good luck.
So,
Because the Giants are not bad.
but
the Giants
on
are
top
not
of that,
bad.
now you got Evans.
But everybody was putting my Bucks ahead of the Giants. They had them won before the game even played.
Yep.
Did the Glazer know that you're one of the owners?
Well, smart ass.
Just
No.
wondering.
All right,
Well,
you
just
bought the Bucks.
Just to finish that subject
They
off,
had
the
the
Bucks.
Bucks.
I have watched a little bit of their games, but I'm kind of looking to see what the Dynamite's if it's gonna explode or not this next week or two
Oh
with
yeah,
Antonio
AB
Brown. So,
coming in.
so they maybe they lost the World Series, but maybe there's a chance that we get another. You guys get another NFL Super Bowl championship. I'm just putting it out there. I'm calling it partially like I
That
see
would
it.
be. It would be cool, and it would be cool
So-
because we would be the first NFL team to go to a Super Bowl
Two
in
different
our
quarterbacks.
home
Oh, yes,
stadium
that's right.
because
You're
it's in
absolutely right.
Tampa Bay this year.
So with that being
But-
said,
Enough of that.
that being said, moving on, another one of the sports, Junior's my guy.
I'm bummed that Kurt Busch didn't make
Yeah.
it to the championship.
We're
four.
talking NASCAR. We're down to the championship four, and is it?
Oh, I
is it
thought we were
fin-
talking about sport.
Race car driving is a sport.
It's going to be a sport when we watch him limp across the floor here, see who's fastest.
So, you guys know Earnhardt's my guy. One of Earnhardt's teammates when he first came in was Chase Elliott. My guy made the Final Four playoffs. And yes, I was rooting for Kurt because I wanted to see Denny and Chase and Truex and Kurt all race for the championship. Those are the 4 guys. All the rest of those guys that are in, because Kyle's out. But I don't.
Thank God.
I don't want to see Logano or
Keselowski.
Keselowski. I don't. So I got a guy in the championship. Hopefully he can win.
Yeah. So I'm
Where are they
pulling
racing
for
the
Chase.
championship at?
Phoenix. They changed it up. It's no longer in Miami. They've changed it up a little.
And if it wasn't for this COVID stuff, there's a really good chance that right now, instead of doing this podcast, I'd be sitting in Phoenix.
Yep.
So they should change that every year.
Give it a different track for who
They should.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Just like everything else.
Well, they started doing that with the All-Star race, but you want to.
No. The only race that should be in the same place every year is Daytona.
Well, guess what? It is in the same place every year.
I know, that's the only one.
Daytona.
It's the only one.
Well, are they going to move Phoenix somewhere and call it Phoenix still?
No, they should move
Just-
they should move the race
You're talking
the
about the weekends.
championship race.
Yes.
To a different track. Why should one place get the opportunity to have the championship race every year?
Well, they're doing it. This is the first year.
No, this-
That
no, no,
Homestead,
no.
Miami isn't getting it.
Oh, this is not the first year.
Yeah, it is.
No, last year they finished at Phoenix.
No.
Yeah, they did.
No, they did not. Last year was
that
in
was the year before.
Homestead, Miami.
No, that was the year before.
No, this is the first year that Phoenix is housing the championship weekend for all 3 seasons.
They should
It was
bid
in
on it just like the
Homestead.
Super Bowl. They should say the cities
So-
should say, we want to
Yeah.
host the championship race, and
Exactly.
if Chicago wins it, which a race in Chicago in November probably wouldn't
Would
be that
not
good.
work.
But
Cars will be really fast, probably.
they used to
Slide around.
they used to only hold the Super Bowl in southern cities. For what reason?
Because of the
weather.
The weather.
Yeah.
Now, because of dome stadiums,
Yes.
a city in the north can host the Super Bowl because of
Maybe Goodyear needs to give NASCAR some studded tires.
Yeah, that or I'll tell you what, it'd be amazing to see a domed 1 mile track.
That would be pretty
That'd
badass.
be interesting.
well.
But
I'll
may
tell you
have
what.
to consider that too, but
But I'll tell you what, honestly, I think that them moving the championship weekend to Phoenix, much better track, much better
easily,
racing
yeah.
by far than Homestead. Homestead is, to me, it's a boring track, but I think Phoenix creates better racing,
And not
those
to
are
mention
the kind
that,
of tracks
not
that
to
they
mention
need
they
to hold
switched the
them
front and the
on.
back stretch on that start
Oh
and
yeah,
finish
now
line
the
at Phoenix.
back.
So,
What used to be the back stretch is now
so
the
it's
start finish
it is
line.
more. Maybe that's where I'm confusing last year, but it is more of an exciting race having that back stretch.
Oh, yeah.
the dog leg and the finish line.
Exactly.
So-
They fan out
So-
5 wide, 6 wide.
The bottom line is, throughout this whole COVID, which we've started in March, it's been 11 weeks since we've been on here. We're shaking the rust off, as you guys can tell. We've got some stuff developing between sports and athletes and this and that and whatever going on. We still had stuff going on, and we're still living our lives.
Yeah.
And we got this and that.
Today was a crazy one. We're getting our first real snow of the year.
Yep.
And so we're going through the typical idiots learning how to drive in snow again.
Yep.
Coming home from work today was just ridiculous.
Well, that was one of the things. You text me when I was on my way here to, kind of be careful about the roads. I guess apparently the Glen Highway's been shut down a couple times already. So
Yeah, when I was coming home right there just at Turpin, someone must have been coming off Turpin trying to get onto the highway and must have lost control and spun out
Well,
in front of 2 other cars, and boom, boom, there was stuff scattered all over the road.
With this dusting of snow that we got, anywhere between the dusting to an inch or whatever they're calling it, that is the worst acceleration lane to get on the highway, on the whole highway, if you ask me. Because you only have You'll probably
Yeah,
only
they
have
don't
about
give you
50
much-
yards.
Yeah,
50
they don't
yards
give
to
you
get
much
up to
room
speed to merge
speed.
into traffic. So, you know,
You try to speed going through the
Yeah.
corner to get
and
up to speed.
You're
and-
drifting.
Yeah, and
So-
this car must have slid out in front of a couple vehicles and boom, boom, got knocked around like a pinball.
Are you breathing? You taking a breath like you're saying something, Tim? Well, so here's another
I
thing.
forgot my wedge.
You got something?
No, it happens every year.
Yeah.
You know, I've been here 24 years, and every winter when we get our first substantial snowfall,
You got the ditch divers.
you got them.
The idiots are there.
They're there, and you know, just slow down.
Yep.
They
People
can't
slow down.
remember. They can't remember what they were
Yeah.
doing last year.
Well, let's put it this way. For those of you that have never been to Alaska or driven on our roads, you remember that scene in Bambi where Bambi, as a little fawn, jumps out on the lake and his legs are out sprawled and he's spinning like a break dancer. That's what it is when these people forget how to drive up here. So
I got to be honest with you. I don't remember Bambi, that scene, until you started talking about it. I'm sorry.
Well,
that's the
I
movie.
remember Bambi, and he was delicious.
yeah, you guys just had some
Oh
Bambi.
yes,
Is
good call, Tim. Yes, we just.
there any leftovers?
Yes, there's
I
some.
might need a little
there-
bit
there-
warmed up here in a minute.
there's some upstairs.
Sensuous.
Yeah, sensuous.
Well,
But no, yeah, I got a buddy here from Sitka, and he's up here healing from a broken leg and staying with us here at the house. And he had asked his daughter for a little bit of some deer to be sent up. So his daughter and his future son-in-law just went out and shot us a deer, had it care packaged up here to Anchorage for us, fresh. And,
the whole deer.
the
Well-
whole deer.
He said, "Can you send us a little bit of deer?" And they didn't hear the bit.
So
So
just to explain, the moose is the largest of the deer family, and then the elk, and then the caribou, and then you start getting into whitetail and mule deer, and then Sitka deer or Coues deer and stuff like that. Well, up here in Alaska, we have Sitka blacktail deer, and they are only about 90 pounds.
Yeah, you're getting a little too heavy into it. Go ahead, Tim.
So-
You were on your way with the good one there.
Well,
they actually, you know, I came over last week. He shows me the thing. He cuts off the two hindquarters, and
was it like eating a turkey leg at the fair?
well, actually, I saved the drumsticks. I'm eating them later. But I cut off the drums, and I smoked the two quarters.
Oh my God,
And
it came out so good.
It was really tasty
Nice.
and tender.
Does it taste like venison?
It was. I tell you
No,
what,
it tastes a little bit like a well-seasoned beef.
It was
veal.
so good.
Like veal.
There was no game taste. It
Good.
was such good deer. Tim did such a wonderful job smoking them. Oh, it was great.
Nice.
It was awesome. And yes, there is a little bit upstairs if you want to.
Yeah, maybe I have to heat some up on the way home. But
It was.
I got
awesome.
in it. I got into discussion because I met a gentleman a couple nights ago down at the brewery, and he still has his boat where he's putting it in and out of the water. And I was like, "Oh, really? What are you doing, hunting?" He's like, "Yeah." He said, "Basically, all we do is we just split the cost of fuel." Okay, you just got to get used to being cold, and some. But we got a heater in the cabin, so I might be going and shooting my first Sitka blacktail deer here within the next couple weeks. But we got in a discussion about.
I like the way we got it, Tim.
Yeah, just like unwrapping it out of the cellophane where you know.
Still warm and showed up all skinned and
But
cleaned. And
the point
just
being
ready
is
to hack it up and throw it in the oven.
the point I was trying to make is being as big a hunter as I am, and if you don't take care of it in the field, from the field to your table,
Absolutely,
you're gonna get. It doesn't matter. You can get the same type of meat and do it separate ways. You're gonna get gaminess. You're gonna get this and that, if you don't take care of it from the field to the table, it's going to be different.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
And most of the time, like I go rounds and rounds. I like hunting caribou. Well, my wife, process.
caribou.
You're absolutely right that
So
the way it's taken care of
Field dressing.
right away, and there's ways to get gaminess out. And,
Yep.
and it depends on how late you shoot them in the season. You know, it's just like moose. The reason they cut moose off when they do is because
get them in the rut.
you get them when it's the most, when they got all that testosterone in them going, because they're looking to mate.
Yep.
And that's the gamiest part of it. But still, it's how you take care of it
Yep.
right from the field. And
When that thing tasted so good. Oh, my Lord. It was wonderful.
Well, I got one last little thing. It's been a while. You played 1 year. It's been a while, but I started my second season at the Eagle River Hockey League for Trustworthy Hardware. This is my second. Oh, yeah, Eric played 2 years. I do remember that because the first year he was wearing a box of crayons.
At least I wasn't a window licker like you.
No, I drive the window lickers. But anyways, I started my second season. We had a big fiasco with the jersey color last year. But I'm looking forward to this Saturday night. We got our next game. Well, we're supposed to be getting our jerseys, and one of the things is making TW orange again because last year they were yellow. So we really got like Hunter Blaze orange. Like turn off the lights and turn on the black light, and
Neon orange?
apparently that's what it's supposed to be. But after 5 games, I can say I'm doing really good. I've got 3 goals and an assist for this old man. I ain't got nothing to say because
Crickets.
oh yeah, where are they? Where are they? Oh, I
crickets.
I took them out. They're not in here no more.
I'm sorry. Were we supposed to be here to pat you on the back?
I'm just saying. I'm thanks,
Hey,
Tim. Thanks. Thanks.
I gotta say,
Don't hug
you
me.
know,
But I mean,
I
you know,
gotta
that's
say, you know, just looking at you and the way you move around anymore, I'm glad to see you're still on skates.
and that's the other thing too. I actually feel better this year than I did last year. I don't know what I did, but
you look like you lost weight.
maybe I have. I haven't been on the scale lately.
Hey, wait, turn around.
No, it's not.
Found it.
It's not a disease. It's not a disease. Your favorite disease. That's not it.
No, I was going to say, he said you lost weight. I said, turn around. Oh, I found it.
There you go. But anyways, I don't know if I told you guys this, but looking through, some of the analytics of our Anchor.fm podcast webpage, we got a few more countries. Somebody in a few more countries are listening.
Really?
And so I'd like to thank them. We kind of already figure out your buddy Noel.
Well, I'm just assuming.
Ireland,
I haven't gotten any official word.
And then there was
I'm
somebody in
assuming.
the UK, which I'm assuming is Bruce's brother,
Maybe my brother. Yeah.
Yep.
Eddie.
Eddie.
Or any of the family.
I did see somebody in Mexico has listened. And
That comes from your side of the family, Tim.
I don't have any Mexicans in my family.
hey, and New Mexico is a state in the United States. It's not a country.
That's awesome.
And then Singapore.
Singapore?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. So
Wow.
I have no clue, but we would like to thank all of our listeners. We've got an estimated audience of 11, but
Whoever's listening in Singapore, just pass the word.
yeah, and the Pansit. Maybe that's not Singapore, but anyways, we're glad to be back at it. It's been a long time coming. It's been hard to try to get these guys together, after the ups and downs of the last 6 months or so. I'm excited about this. We want to thank you all for listening. don't forget our buddies Elvis Monroe, Ben and Brian, and their concert November 11th.
Absolutely, yeah.
I know it's soon.
Support them guys.
I know it's soon,
them guys.
but
they are awesome guys.
They're great, and hopefully we can have them back on. They've already insisted on it. We'll have to set that up, but I don't have anything else. I've got to drive home and weather this storm. But as a truck driver, I think I will be okay. But this is the Upper One podcast, and that is Tim, and that is Eric.
Later, guys.
Great
to be back.
See you next time, hopefully a lot sooner than the last time. Have a good night or a good day, whatever part of the country or the world you're in.
Good day, mate.